Hi everyone, I am Momin and I am here after quite a long time actually. I think I want to do a video today specifically for people who are students right now or who are thinking of maybe going for the studies or starting a program. And before I go on, please subscribe to our channel if you like our content. And there are plenty of videos we've uploaded in the past many months, so you can go through like all the topics in our list of videos. So I hope you like them. And please also give suggestions if there are any topics you want us to cover. We will try our best to get to those. Anyway, so the one topic that I want to do today is like studies or academics and balancing OCD with that, and how OCD can influence your or latch on to your ability to study or notions about academics. So I think one of the most common fears for about studying is fear of forgetting. You don't want to forget anything for your exam. You really want to retain everything in your head and remember everything very, very well, and make sure that you understand every single little explanation and corner of the of whatever chapter or syllabus that you are studying. And the compulsions that are attached to that fear of forgetting are often then compulsively rereading everything over and over again just to make sure that you perfectly memorize it in your head, and compulsive note taking. So you want to write down everything because you want to make sure that you don't miss out anything, and you just are able to do everything really well. So there's this immense pressure and this immense stress that you are putting on yourself to perform extraordinarily well. And the more pressure you put on yourself when studying, it feels like the words are like, I don't know, falling off of your head. They're not going in, they're not getting absorbed in your brain, because the more you try to, for example, reread something and remember it perfectly well, it will never be perfect enough for you, because that fear will always make you feel like, okay, what if you forget this little tiny thing, and what if you don't remember this thing? So it will still make you doubt your ability and your ability and your capability. In fact, I think those are two different things, slightly different things, to do well at your exam. So I would say the key for that is to lean into that fear and try to let go of that pressure that you are applying to yourself. I think for me, how that looked like was, because it might look different for different people, but for me, how that happened was I I stopped making notes because I was trying to get everything down on paper, because I thought, okay, if I revise this later, then everything needs to be here, because if it's not here, then I won't revise it later, and if there's a question on it or an MCQ on it, then I won't be able to solve it. So I mean, obviously, it was going on that end. So I was trying my best to get all my areas covered. So how I was able to just let go of that control that I was exerting was, um, especially for concepts that were very difficult, I started to watch YouTube videos. YouTube is a great resource for education, by the way, in case you don't know that yet. I have studied for some of my college courses from YouTube, not entirely, but like some chunks of it. I remember this one time, for this one economics related course, I was studying the Greek economic crisis, and I could not fully grasp it. I mean, in class I understood and the notes I made were good, but when the time came to study for the exam, I was looking at my notes and I thought, I don't get what I've written. I'm not sure what I am trying to say over here. So I had to I watched a YouTube video for it, and I did not make any notes. I did not rewatch it over and over again. I think I just watched it maybe once, and for later for revision, I think I just watched it another time, some parts of it. But I am good at. I mean, I respond really well to audio visual resources. So for me, I was able to retain that entire story in my head really well. And incidentally, then there was a question on it, and then I was able to reproduce the information I saw in the video in that question. So it worked out really well for me. So I did not give in to my compulsions. I did not forcefully try to take down notes. I did not listen to it over and over again. And I just let go of that fear, and I thought, okay, I'll do my best. I'll just watch this video, and if I'm not able to reproduce it really well in the exam tomorrow, or if I'm not able to talk about this concept or analyze this entire story in an effective way, it's okay. I mean, what else can I do? I'm human. I need to act like a human. I'm not a robot. I cannot download information in my head. So that was how I was able to, just take a step back and take a little bit of a backseat in that sense, and not give into my compulsions. So that's really important. Don't don't reread over and over again. Don't make compulsive notes. And even, in fact, yes, this is also something I want to really say. I never really reread anything over and over again, but there have been moments where I think while reading a page of a chapter or something, I was not retaining that information fully, or I was not totally getting it. And I think in those moments, I feel like OCD was trying to latch in on that moments and trying to make me, reread it over and over again, but I didn't. I still went ahead with reading, and I thought, okay, at least I'll get through this reading at least once, and I'll see to it later if I want to revise it or if I don't remember it. I'm not putting this, immense pressure on myself, because it's better to get some less marks than to live in this, state of, oh my god, I need to get this done, and oh my god, I need to, get this perfectly done. Even though I'm not obsessed with getting A's or anything, but still, I mean, I think, in fact, as OCD sufferers, it's not about getting an A, it's just about, oh my god, I need to, just perform well and do my best. There's also, I think, one thing that I want to, I'm just reminded of Rumi, this Sufi poet slash philosopher from the subcontinent. If you haven't, you should check him out. He's like really great, and I think this is one of his philosophies. I really don't want to like butcher it or anything, but it goes along the lines of something like, if you let yourself drown in the ocean, only then you will be able to float. And I feel like that's kind of the philosophy that we need to adopt for OCD and tackling our fears, because like even for studying, we're constantly trying to swim up and come up for air and not drown in the waters, which is why we're doing these compulsions and forcefully trying to remember everything that we're reading. But it's only in letting go, it's only in drowning, that you'll be able to finally be on top of the ocean. So I hope I did not really mess that philosophy up. You should read it for yourself, but I hope you get the essence of what I'm trying to say over here. So I'm also just looking at my notes here because I didn't want to forget anything. So yeah, and when you take that pressure off of yourself, only that's when you really begin to not actively notice it. It kind of happens automatically, because if you let go and then you're still checking in your brain, oh my god, now that I have let go of that pressure, do I still remember everything? Am I still getting it? No. I mean, don't try not to internally check. But usually when you let go of that and of that pressure, and when you lean into that fear, you'll see that you're able to really study calmly. If you get something, great. If you don't get something immediately, you don't panic, you don't start going really anxious. You're still able to rationally look at the situation and rationally be present in the moment while you're studying. So I will also I want to mention this over here as well. I'm someone who likes to organize, and who likes making notes, who likes making lists and stuff like that. And so I have I have what you may call typical OCD traits, or what people actually think OCD is. But the difference between like organizing and generally making notes in life generally and with studies is that otherwise I enjoy this. Like, I like doing these things. It helps me be more productive. It helps me remember things better, in terms of, okay, I need to do this today, I need to get this task done, I need to run this errand. So it helps me keep some structure and order to my life. But when it gets compulsive, or when it's being driven by a particular fear, that's when it becomes a stressful process, which is what happens when if OCD comes into your academic life. So that's when your note taking self is becoming a stressful activity, and you're just not present in the moment. You're hating it. You wish you could stop, but you're still not stopping. So I would say that in some ways that is one indicator of where you can really identify and see that, okay, I mean, I may enjoy making notes. I am that person. I might like putting things under headings and putting things in an organizational fashion. But the fact that this is stressing me out and it's nagging me at the back of my head, and it's almost making me panic and making me anxious, that means that whatever I'm doing right now is being driven by fear, or irrational beliefs, really strong irrational beliefs. So that's when you can recognize that and try to take a little step back. Okay, what else do I have here? Okay, yeah. So your OCD around your academic life can also overlap with your fear of not being able to sleep well, because obviously scientifically it says that to perform well at an exam or an assignment, or generally just for productivity in terms of studies, you need to have good amounts of sleep in the night, blah blah blah. And that's true. I mean, I'm not dismissing that as a fact. That is true. I mean, if you do sleep well, maybe you will be able to perform better. But I mean, I only know maybe of two people in my life who have followed like a really good schedule of being able to study on time, of getting good hours of sleep, eating well, and all those things. I don't know like a big chunk of those people. Most people I know are their sleep cycles get disrupted. They pull all nighters. I mean, they function on less sleep. I have done that myself as well. I have taken so many countless classes on barely any sleep. I've given my O and A level final exams on barely any sleep. And I remember my A level history exam, I was up all night because the syllabus was so lengthy and I wanted to make sure I covered it all, and I did not miss out anything. So not compulsively, but I generally did not know some of the things, so I wanted to at least read it once. So I was up all night, I was studying for it. So and I gave that exam on no sleep at all. And it was a 3-hour exam. It was quite long actually. So yeah, I mean, most people I know function on less sleep, or they even don't eat that well before their exam. I'm not glorifying that as a routine. I'm not suggesting you do the same. But what I'm trying to say is that you can still perform well, or maybe not as well as you want, but you can still do okay even if you don't sleep that well. Again, leaning into that fear of not being able to sleep the night before your exam is really important over here. I have given important presentations on less sleep. And I have done final projects on less sleep as well. I think it's really important to remember that uncertainty over here is key, because if I try to analyze my past patterns of sleeping during exam season, it won't really help me. It won't really get me anywhere, because I mean, maybe if I did get enough sleep before a certain exam, maybe I would have gotten slightly more marks, perhaps. Or in fact, on the flip side, for example, if I did sleep a lot before my history exam, I wouldn't have been able to cover a certain part of the syllabus, and then I wouldn't have done as well. So there's no um, guarantee that you will do extremely well if you sleep well. Um, so yeah, remembering that is also really important over here. That there are people out there who are able to function on less sleep as well and still able to achieve their goals. A lot of my friends went to Ivy League colleges, or they studied in Oxford or Cambridge or all these like big top names. Um, One of my friends is actually working at Google, I think, right now, and he is not the best sleeper at all. So yeah, there's also a sleep-related OCD problems playlist on this YouTube channel. So you could also check that out for more in-depth information on how to deal with sleep-related anxiety problems, and that will also help you tackle this particular aspect of your student life as an OCD sufferer. Just let me check. Yeah, and one important thing as well, that I think we obviously scientifically, you might, in your brain you might think, oh, but scientifically it says that you should sleep well before an exam. But I mean, there are so many other things that are stated by science, that perhaps you should eat this amount of fruits and vegetables, you should go for this much hours of exercise, you should be in the sun this much. I mean, there's so many things that science states, but we don't really do those things. And we really, I feel like we function on a really good, healthy amount of uncertainty over there, because you don't see yourself panicking or getting really anxious, not following all scientific evidence and suggestions. The fact that it's coming over here shows that, and only over here shows that that it's being driven by your fears and irrational beliefs over here, and that needs tackling through exposures and through disputing, which I'm going to come into even more over here. One of the compulsions with sleep related stuff could also be that you might not drink coffee, because you'll think, oh my god, if I drink coffee then I'll be up all night, then I won't be able to sleep, and then everything will go to ruin. So remember, it's not the apocalypse. It's like the world is not imploding. You will be able to get through it even if you function on less sleep. Lean into it. I would say that's the motto of this video: lean into it. And all of this also like ties into your fear of not being able to do well, or maybe you might fear that I will drop out of college, and there's a lot of shame and guilt and embarrassment attached to that entire notion. And what will people think, and what will people say, and what will I say to people, in fact? What justification or reason will I give to people of not being able to perform at a certain level? There are so many expectations and standards that we even attach to our own self of being able to perform at a certain potential. I know I have done that in the past. Sometimes I still do, but I try to be better at it. But yeah, tackling that shame, guilt, and embarrassment is really important over here, and disputing is what really helps see through that in a more rational manner. That even if you do not perform as well, even if there is shame and embarrassment of not performing well, you can still stand it and go through it. You can figure out another way in this entire situation to build forward. You might even drop out. Okay, you might drop out, but there will be another way forward after that. There are always alternative ways. There will not be a full stop after your life over here. And I think there's also a lot of self-esteem that we attach to academics quite a lot, even for jobs as well, I would say. So do read The Myth of Self-Esteem by Albert Ellis over here. That will really help you in this aspect as well. But we do attach our self-worth to our achievements in academia or professionally. So seeing that our achievements, or lack of achievement for that matter, is just a small part of us, it's not our entirety, it's not our entire existence. That's really key over here, because the more you detach yourself from those little parts of yourself, the more you'll be able to work on them in a more rational manner as well. What else have I written? Yeah, let go of that internal resistance that you're putting on, that you're constantly, exerting on the inside. Because that internal resistance is what is keeping you from going into that fear or facing discomfort, and take that imaginary risk in your head of what will happen. Go into that with the intention of, okay, this worst case scenario might happen, but okay, it's better than this state of constant panic that I am in right now. Let's see where this takes us. You have to give into it. You have to go with the uncertainty, like I said, of the entire situation, because there's no way of knowing for sure the what may or may not happen, or what outcomes you may have to face. So yeah, and this is also, these I would say approaches are also useful for generally OCD and all other fears as well. There are videos on like uncertainty on the YouTube channel that you can watch. Rob, Oliver, Kirsty, I think Sadie as well. They've all done videos on guilt and shame as well, the fear of being judged by society. And I think they can, whatever I've talked about, they can help elaborate that and break that down in a better fashion, and in a more detailed fashion than in this video. So do watch those as well. There are videos by Albert Ellis on the YouTube channel that are on guilt and shame. There are 3 parts of it, so do watch those. Those are really helpful. Then there's this a 1-hour lecture which is called The Dire Need for Love, by Albert Ellis. So watch that as well, because again, because we attach our self-worth to these achievements and doing well in life, I think that's where these fears of being validated and loved and approved and accepted by people and liked by people and praised by people, I think it really comes in. And that's where we start getting fearful of, oh my god, I don't want to lose this, I don't want to get their disapproval, or I don't want to be embarrassed in front of them, I want to be this perfect achieving person in life. So yeah, take that risk of that really happening. Then I think there are a lot of people who question whether they should go ahead with their studies or not. They might take a semester off, they might defer their admissions, they might delay their starting date of their program or of a certain course. And I would say that falls into avoidance category over here, and because you will keep waiting for OCD to go for you to start. Even if you get better, when the time will come again for you to start your studies, then you will think, oh no, but I am still anxious, I'm still 30-40% anxious, and I'm not better as I want to be, so maybe I should delay it a little further. So you will keep delaying it. You will not train your brain to take it for the ride. And and that's what we need to do, because we cannot wait for certain conditions to be fulfilled to go on with our life and go after our goals and our aims and ambitions. By nature, in a way, my brain functions in that way that, like, I've never thought about, okay, if I didn't have OCD, or when I will not have OCD, only then I will do this. I think my brain has always functioned in a way that says, okay, there's this hurdle or this specific challenge in life. How can I still go after my goals and my dreams and aims and ambitions with this hurdle? I mean, how can I balance the two? How can I take the two alongside with me? I think the biggest lesson for me, or the biggest evidence for me that comes for this particular thing, is my 4 years of college were perhaps one of the worst times OCD wise. And yeah, it was really difficult. And basically, my college campus was my exposure zone. Everything related to it, everything about it triggered me. It was an exposure for me. So, but I still went ahead. I still went there every single day, and every single day was very uncomfortable, and it did trigger me in so many ways, and it made me, I was perpetually anxious. I was perpetually stressed out when I was there. But I was still able to graduate with a good CGPA, and I was still able to complete all my courses. And I still actually did have a good time with a lot of my friends as well at college. So my point is that don't wait for it to go. You can still achieve a lot even if you have chronic OCD, even if it's like screaming its head off. Don't wait for it to go. Always think, okay, this might be difficult, this might be uncomfortable, this will not make me feel great, but I'll find a way. I'll find a way through it. I'll see how I can manage this. I'll find a way, but I'm still going ahead with this certain goal and aim, or this ambition that I really want to go for. So yeah, so don't delay, don't defer your admission, don't defer your semesters, uh, don't take semesters off. Just my suggestion would be, unless it's something really critical or like really 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 bad. um, I was able to do it with chronic OCD. I think you can as well. I would also say, in fact, right now, me doing my masters has been a different kind of challenge because it's obviously the pandemic, and I suffer from contamination OCD, and being at home and not being able to get out of my house has basically been um, this lesson in how to live in contamination world, in the world of contamination, because yeah, I couldn't go out and I was surrounded by what I considered to be contamination. So but I still studied. I am still studying through my master's program, even with OCD, even being at home. And it's a separate kind of, it's a beast on its own in a way, studying online, just being constantly in front of your devices and whatnot. But yeah, I've done it, and I think you can as well. So go for it. Don't stop. Don't wait for your dreams to happen in some perfect future. Do them right now. And the last thing that I want to point out is that I think with academics, or even by the way, for jobs at a really high end jobs and really busy jobs, I think it is really important to still carve out time for working on recovery and prioritizing that in your life. Because if you keep saying that, oh, I don't have time, there are so many assignments, there are so many projects, blah blah blah, I get that. I trust me, I really do get that. But even if it's carving out 5 minutes of your day to read a book from the reading list, for example, or 10 minutes to do an exposure, do that. Please do that. Don't put it off, because then it will also affect your academics as well, and you're not giving yourself the chance to improve OCD wise. You're not giving yourself the chance to get better OCD wise. You're letting it be there a bit. You're letting it be there. You're letting it, fester, and yeah, you have I would say, in fact, say you have a better chance of doing good or better in life, or at least feel more content and at peace in your mind in life, if you're also working on recovery side by side. Because then that, blown up anxiety all the time, you're tackling that as well, and you're also, studying, and you're going after the more practical things in life that you want to do. So don't put it off. Please go after it. And yeah, I think I just want to give that important reminder to keep working at recovery, even if you have like this really super busy job, or you have a lot of assignments or projects or whatnot. Don't ignore recovery. Take OCD along for the ride. Lean into your fears, and I hope everything works out for you. That's and I hope this helps in some way. If you have any questions regarding this, please do write them in the comments below, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. I hope this was helpful. And if there are any particular fears or any other beliefs or things that you want me to tackle in terms of academics, I can try to do that. So feel free to suggest that as well. So yeah, I will see you soon with another video. Bye bye.